I want to share that Korean women are some of the most insidious, cerebral, and controlling women in the entire world. I was a megamania my entire life, and back in high school, I dated a girl who was about 2 levels out of my league as a self-proclaimed hippie. She was beautiful, talented, and very charming. I was so whipped from the get-go that on the night we started dating, I came home after the first kiss and recorded a selfie video about how I'm in heaven and how I can't believe I kissed an angel. Then I showed her the video the following day. I can imagine the satisfaction and salivation that she felt knowing that my heart was on a platter for her to devour for the next 2 years. She openly flirted and caressed other guys right in front of me and broke up with me because her feelings for her ex-boyfriend had returned over winter break, and admitted to accidentally hooking up with another dude at a party even and broke up with me. Writing this depresses me, and I'm ashamed of how easily I got trampled on by women, but after watching a few videos I felt compelled to share this with you as well as the MGTOW community to serve as a reminder of just how powerful it and blinding the vagina is. Needless to say, all of my ex-girlfriends ended up cheating on me. But here's what's interesting: I've dated an Indian and a few Caucasians as well, as a few Korean girls, and the Korean girls are the only ones that never actually admitted that they cheated. My most recent relationship was with a Korean girl, and I thought that I'd actually found it in a Walt. She was cute, reserved, down-to-earth, goofy, seemingly non-materialistic, and fed my ego with compliments like "you're so manly" and "you're not like all the other guys." But after about a year of dating her, she began to reveal her true colors one layer at a time. She did things like never picking up the phone and calling me back a few minutes later instead of getting wasted at mandatory company functions that lasted late into the night 3 times a week, and flirtatious Facebook messages from her male coworkers on her page started to pop up. But like a moth encircled by a spider's web, I still couldn't see the truth. The only way I woke up from this mangana coma was after finding out from a friend that she was riding with her coworkers as well as a few friends of mine from college. At the end of the day, I blame myself for the delusion in my head. Sure, she was deceptive and manipulative, but it was just as much about how I didn't want my fantasy to end, because we were imperfect, and I suspect that even the most discerning MG toads have blind spots and can fall prey to the most patient female predators who study their prey for many years and sting them into submission. As soon as they discover that particular blind spot, and the vagina beam is so strong that the dude actually still think he has control over it in his mind. That's probably why girls keep around gay guys or friend-zone manganas around in order to extract insight into the male psyche. I think guys should be doing the same thing by keeping an ugly girl around to basically smell out females. She would have to be really ugly and completely flexible for this to work. The fact that your ex didn't admit to cheating shows me that Asian women are smarter and better at covering their tracks than Caucasian and Indian women. As for red flags, the first one is the crazy flag. If a woman starts acting crazy immediately after you start dating her, don't have sex with her if it's the last thing you do. About a month or 2 into dating or a relationship, the woman will start treating you like dog crap because she knows you love her. It's ironic that she has to be nice to you until you fall in love with her. But when she realizes you're hooked, she treats you poorly. Sometimes it takes longer than a few months. On a 1-year anniversary, I was told all the bad things I was doing and that I needed to change. Women in their 30s are often desperate to get pregnant and willing to have sex as soon as possible to get knocked up with the guy. They're looking for good genes. They're usually irrational and don't want to use condoms. And all they seem to care about is getting pregnant. They don't care about STD condoms or the pill. That to me is a red flag that you're just a baby factory. Another huge red flag is a woman in her late 20s or 30s with no or little money saved. If she doesn't have a financial plan, you're her financial bailout plan. If that means marrying you or getting pregnant to get child support and alimony, so be it. Financially troubled women know their only chance at a good lifestyle is to find a man. The only way a woman can hide red flags is to be quite submissive and play dumb or shy. Those women scare me the most because you don't know what's lurking underneath the surface. If she tells you she's shy, but then you catch her being outgoing, you'll never know what she's thinking until you're neck deep in it. Ironically, this is both the best and worst woman to be in a relationship with. She knows how to be submissive and let a man dominate her, yet she rules the relationship from a psychological level since she's hiding F***CKS. Having sex too soon is another warning indicator. She's obviously a carousel rider, and if she wants it before you do, then she's either trying to lock you in as quickly as possible emotionally, or she doesn't have any respect for herself, but is willing to let someone she barely knows into her body. Think of many times that she's done that before. In the words of Turd, flingy monkey women are like roller coasters. The ride is short and there's often a lineup of guys behind you waiting to get on the ride. There are so many red flags that I'd literally be here all day giving them to you, but the more you date, the more of these red flags that you're going to see in the future, to the point where you see all women as liars and deceivers. They'd all use the same techniques, but in the past, men and women dated very few people before getting married, so most men, like myself, were completely ignorant about female nature, and when a man finally gets the divorce papers, of course, he's completely shocked because the men knew nothing about women to begin with. You can either love women or you can understand them. You can't do both. Other red flags to include is she never calls you and expects you to be the one calling her all the time. Talking to an ex-boyfriend usually means that she wants to monkey branch back to him and you're just keeping the seat warm. Like those people at the Oscars that fill the seats when the celebrity has to go take a piss, and as soon as the celebrity is back, they're whisked away. The trick I find while dating now is to mark all the red flags down and keep track of how often they happen. Once the frequency and severity of them can't be ignored, it's time to pull the ripcord and eject. It's only going to go downhill fast and crash from there, and when you start pointing out a red flag to her, that's when the arguments usually begin. And once you become aware of the red flags, then it's impossible not to see them anymore. If she's quiet and submissive, she's hiding from you and not communicating. All women are irrational, and if they aren't, then they're just sitting there quietly, so they don't attract attention to their irrational thinking. They're usually ashamed of being women, and that's bad for their self-esteem. And if they have terrible self-esteem, then that too is bad for their self-esteem.